Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Daesum, and today we're about to dive deep into something absolutely iconic, hanbok. You know, that gorgeous traditional Korean outfit that's been breaking the internet lately? Well, buckle up because we're going on a 5,000-year journey through one of the world's most ancient and continuously worn traditional garments. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll see why hanbok is not just clothing. It's literally living history, art, and culture all wrapped into one stunning package. So let's get into it. Okay, so first things first, where did hanbok even come from? We're talking ancient Korea here, like way back to the Joseon period around 2333 BC. Yeah, you heard that right, over 4,000 years ago. Now, we don't have a ton of physical evidence from that era because, hello, things decay over time. But what we do have are archaeological findings and later historical records that give us clues. The earliest visual evidence of Korean traditional clothing comes from the Three Kingdoms period. That's Goryeo, Baekje, and Silla, existing from around 57 BC to 668 AD. And here's something wild that blows people's minds. Women wore pants back then. Yeah, ancient Korean women were rocking pants under their skirts for practicality and comfort. Meanwhile, the rest of the world was still figuring things out. Talk about being ahead of the curve. The Goryeo kingdom, which was known for being super militaristic and practical, had clothing that reflected that vibe. Think long jackets called jeogori that reached the hips, paired with wide pants called baji, all tied together with narrow belts. The murals in Goryeo tombs show us exactly what people wore, and honestly, the silhouettes are still recognizable today. That's insane longevity for a fashion style. Baekje, on the other hand, was the refined, elegant sibling of the Three Kingdoms. They had strong cultural exchanges with China's Tang Dynasty, so their hanbok styles were more flowing and sophisticated. Think softer colors, more graceful lines, and that aristocratic elegance that screamed, "We have culture and we know it." And then there's Silla, the kingdom that eventually unified the Three Kingdoms. Silla was rich, and they weren't shy about showing it. Gold accessories, elaborate jewelry, ornate hair ornaments, their hanbok was basically a walking display of wealth and status. The more decorated you were, the higher your social standing. Fashion as a status symbol isn't new, folks. Silla was doing it over 1,000 years ago. Fast forward to the Goryeo Dynasty, which ruled from 918 to 1392. This period is super interesting because it's when hanbok started to get some major influences from the Mongol Empire. Yeah, Korea was under Mongol influence for a while, and you know what? That actually added some really cool elements to hanbok design. During this time, the jeogori got longer, like significantly longer than what came before, and the silhouette became more relaxed and flowing. There's this interesting thing that happened with proportions too. When the jeogori was long, the skirt would be shorter, and vice versa. It was all about that balance and harmony, which is such a core principle in Korean aesthetics. Goryeo hanbok also featured richer fabrics and more intricate patterns. We're talking silk with elaborate embroidery, vibrant colors, and designs that incorporated both Korean traditional motifs and Mongol influences. This cultural fusion created something uniquely beautiful, a perfect example of how Korean culture has always been about adaptation while maintaining its core identity. The Mongol influence also brought in new types of outerwear like the cheolik, which was more fitted and practical for horseback riding. Even though it came from external influence, Koreans adapted it and made it their own. That's the beauty of Korean fashion history. It's never been static. It's always been evolving, taking influences, and creating something new while respecting tradition. Now we're getting to the period that most people think of when they hear hanbok, the Joseon Dynasty, from 1392 to 1897. This is when hanbok, as we know it today, really took its final form and became iconic. Joseon was heavily influenced by Neo-Confucianism, which emphasized modesty, hierarchy, and social order. And guess what? That showed up big time in clothing. The jeogori got progressively shorter during the Joseon period. By the late Joseon era, women's jeogori were super short, sometimes barely covering the chest, which was then paired with a high-waisted, voluminous skirt called chima that came up to the chest, or even higher. This created that distinctive silhouette that's immediately recognizable as classic hanbok. Colors became super important during Joseon too. There was this whole system called Obangsaek, the 5 sacred colors based on yin-yang and 5 elements philosophy. Blue represented east and wood, white was center and earth, red was south and fire, black was north and water, and yellow was west and metal. These colors weren't just aesthetic choices. They had deep philosophical and cosmological meanings. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Your clothing color could literally indicate your social status. Commoners could only wear white, pale pink, light green, or gray. Bright colors? Those were reserved for the upper classes. The royal family had exclusive rights to certain shades of yellow and red. Imagine being arrested for wearing the wrong color. That was real life in Joseon, Korea. Men's hanbok during Joseon was equally sophisticated. Scholars wore the dopo, which is this gorgeous outer robe with wide sleeves that's considered one of the most beautiful items of traditional Korean clothing. The gat, that distinctive black horsehair hat, became the symbol of scholarly gentlemen, and everything from the width of your sleeves to the type of fabric you wore communicated your education level, social status, and even your philosophical beliefs. Court hanbok was on another level entirely. Royal garments featured intricate embroidery of dragons, phoenixes, and other auspicious symbols. The level of craftsmanship was insane. We're talking hundreds of hours of hand embroidery by master artisans. Some of these pieces are preserved in museums today, and they're basically wearable art. So, what happened after the Joseon Dynasty ended? Well, Korea went through some massive changes. Japanese colonization, rapid modernization, Western influence, traditional clothing kind of took a back seat as Korea transformed into a modern nation. For most of the 20th century, hanbok was relegated to special occasions, weddings, holidays like Chuseok and Seoul, and that's about it. But here's where the story gets really exciting, the 21st century hanbok revival. Around the 2010s, young Korean designers started reimagining hanbok for modern life. They kept the essential elements, the jeogori, the chima, the graceful lines, but made them practical for everyday wear. This is what we call sangwal hanbok, or daily hanbok. These modern interpretations use comfortable fabrics, simpler construction, and contemporary color combinations. You can wear them to cafes, to work, for photo shoots. They're designed for living, not just for ceremony. Prices became more accessible too, with many pieces ranging from $50 to $200 instead of the thousands of dollars traditional hanbok could cost. And then K-dramas and K-pop happened. Shows like Kingdom, The King, Eternal Monarch, and countless historical dramas showcased hanbok to global audiences. Suddenly, people all over the world were like, wait, what is this gorgeous outfit? Netflix literally made hanbok trendy again. How wild is that? In 2025, we're seeing Gen Z totally embrace hanbok as a fashion statement. It's showing up at Korean universities, at streetwear events, even in contemporary art installations. Brands are mixing hanbok elements with streetwear. Think jeogori-style jackets with jeans, hanbok-inspired prints on hoodies. It's K-fashion at its absolute finest, and it's going global. So there you have it, 5,000 years of hanbok history in one video. From ancient kingdoms where women wore pants and fought alongside men, through the elegant refinement of Goryeo, the strict beauty of Joseon, all the way to today's trendy, reformed hanbok that Gen Z is rocking on Instagram and TikTok. What makes hanbok truly special isn't just that it's old. Plenty of things are old. What's special is that it's alive. It's evolved, adapted, taken influences, and yet remained distinctly Korean through millennia. It represents this incredible balance between respecting tradition and embracing change, between preserving heritage and staying relevant. And honestly, that's the most Korean thing ever, honoring where you came from while fearlessly stepping into the future. Hanbok isn't just surviving, it's thriving. It's on runways, in music videos, on red carpets, and in everyday life. So if you've never tried on a hanbok, I highly encourage you to do it. Whether it's a traditional one or a modern, reformed style, wearing hanbok is like wearing history, art, and culture all at once. It's an experience everyone should have at least once. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this deep dive into hanbok history, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Drop a comment below telling me what surprised you most about hanbok. I love reading your thoughts. And if you want to see me styling different types of hanbok, let me know, and I'll make that video next. Until next time, stay curious, stay stylish, and keep celebrating amazing cultures like this one. Peace out.